Scoreboard plus probably 10, 15. This deck gains so much on the play. It's like 45 versus 60%. Oh, look, we have a Goblin Guide on the play. How crazy. It's like you win the game on the spot. Also, Searing Blaze is pretty nice on the play. Like, if you actually hit... This hand is actually just the nuts, so I don't really know why I'm trying to comment on the cards. Ew. Not sure on it. Usually 1-drop, 2-drop. Oh. Got a Living End player over there? Nope. Probably Lone Pox then. Yep. So, I'm pretty sure that the correct play is still just idle on them. It's actually 100% the right play because if my opponent smallpoxes me, it puts me in the best situation. Oh no, this is Lightning Axe. They're probably Lone Pox. I can't imagine playing Bloodcast with Gristledad. Interesting. Dredge? Well, if my opponent is... So the thing about Lotless Troll in this format is every time you try to burn it out, it ends horribly for you. I know my opponent has at least one brick in their hand. If I hit a land, I think that I would play the Swift Spear and attack. The question is whether I trade off my Eidolon for 2 damage here, basically. I think that's actually right. Less because I'm concerned about, the Eidolon's probably going to deal 2 damage to him if it stays in play, but the damage it deals to me is going to cut off a significant amount of my time frame to win this game. Yeah. Or that just happens, which is straight up awesome for me. Especially because my opponent is opting to not dredge Stinkweed Imp. I guess it's possible that I could just be like, from hand, game 1, Gnaw to the Bone. Which would be kind of a disaster. My opponent's mana base is interesting considering the Blood Gas. Like the straight up 0 fetches I've seen in the first 3 lands. That cannot be a good sign for my opponent. Mostly this is what I'm referring to, not anything else, just this. Tassiger? Oh, Gurmag. So let's math this out a little bit here. So, Swift Spear into Lava Spike is 5, putting my opponent to 5, which is horrible because my hand's all 2-drops. So the correct play is actually just pass the turn and Boros Charm at some generic point. And if I draw a land, then I get to finish the job with Lava Spike, Skullcrack, or whatever. F6 value. Yay! Burn spells. Uh, so I don't really expect Leyline or Dragon's Claw here. I expect Gnaw to the Bone. Um, Not really sure what my optimal line against that card is. I think that the answer to anything is that I actually might want Path to Exile. I don't really like the idea of Searing Blaze in this matchup. I don't think there's that many creatures for me to kill. I think that when in doubt, the worst card in the deck is this Lightning Helix. Especially if I'm boarding in Pass. I'm not even sure this is right to board in Path. But might just be better at burn spells. I want to try it and see. I didn't really test, like, I tested against actual Dredge, and like all these other decks, but not like this weird half and half mid-range delve shenanigans nonsense that my opponent's playing. If I get leylined, I get leylined. I did just board out. Always forget if I think Searing Blaze is target player and target creature that player controls. I always forget the wording on that one versus Searing Blood. Oh, great. I mean, this is basically a mulligan because we do have an extra land on top of what we want. But however, our other three cards are just the straight up nuts, so it doesn't get much better. Yeah, there's Vengevine, Gravecrawler. Our opponent's just as actually dredgy as we thought they were. Well, not really, not quite to the. I did kind of like the Fate Stitcher. I don't know if everyone has seen that, but before the Pro Tour, there's a little bit of buzz about a Tormenting Voice, Fate Stitcher, Hedron Crab. I'm only listing Tormenting. I think there was a. What was the better card in that deck? I don't want that one. Come on. Playing Eidolon first main so that if my opponent plays a removal spell, they don't get to Goblin Guide trigger off the removal spell. What do we... Oh, a second Crawler? What a disaster. That's a Zombie Fish? And a Gnaw to the Bone? Oh. This might get problematic. What did they choose? Verdant Catacombs, okay. Yeah, but there was a Fate Stitcher Delve deck that was just like Turbo Vengevines with Tormenting Voice, Dangerous Wager. I think we had Shattered Perception as one of our options too. I'm interested that our opponent waited there. I don't do that first. I definitely attack first. The reason being, if my opponent's going to kill my Eidolon, they're going to do it in response to the second Eidolon anyways. So if they kill it, I take 2 less damage off of this Eidolon being put on the stack. They're going to gnaw, gain only 8. That's not a lot. Not on this board. Like, if that's all you're doing, that's, actually, if you watch, it was, my pre-Treasure Cruise ban. I mean, that deck did have Treasure Cruise, but pre-ban, I definitely played Burn, and my opponent cast, like, I think it was, like, 2 Timelies, 2 Rest for the Wearies, and, like, another life gain spell over the course of a game. and like gained probably 31 life or something absurd, and it was just like not even close to enough. That's fine. What is... Opponent's gonna take more damage? Okay. This... None of this ended remotely reasonably for our opponent. This is just gonna target them under the logic of if I draw literally any burn spell, the game is over. That's not a burn spell. That's not lethal. I don't even think it gets cast. Oh, wait. Nope, not paying life. We're actually in like a pretty reasonable board state. Man, Eidolon versus Gravecrawler, I didn't even think about that being cast. Like, just his cards don't do anything. Oh. Well, we've reached the lovely point of the game where I have a lethal burn spell, my opponent is spell locked, and yeah. Presumably there's a Gnaw to the Bone waiting somewhere, I guess. Okay. I guess Gnaw to the Bone doesn't even matter, because the Eidolon triggers. For what it's worth, there's still no reason to Lightning Bolt there in case of, the actual reason is my opponent could have Nourishing Shoal, which has happened to me out of a Griselbrand deck. Like, in general, I just always err on the side of, unless there's a specific card that my opponent could draw to, like, have double thing to beat my burn spell when they only could, like, have one before, I always just err on the side of the slow roll, like, even in limited. Just, like, generally, especially in that state, like, there's 3 mana up for my opponent once they go into burn range. Like, there's really no difference between casting it on their end step and waiting for my draw step to see if I hit a second. Yeah. And again, Nourishing Shoal. It's a thing. A Talkathon where we're going all the way back in time to Standard. Which was, what, a decade ago? Jeez. Good time.